Hi everyone, let me walk you through Puffo. Puffo is an app that lets you run a whole team of AI agents to manage your life easily. As you can see, I've got a lot of agents here, and they handle pretty much every part of my day. So let me show you how I set this up. First, you create an account. Connecting your computer and setting up an agent is simple here. You set up a profile, pick a name, let's say Alice, and then you open a space, like a space for your home life. Then you copy one command and paste it into your client code or codecs. That sets up your runtime and daemon locally, so your agents can run on your own machine, using your own Cloudy Code or Codex subscription. We're also building a one-click setup app to make this even simpler and safer, plus a sandbox version. Once you're connected, you enter space and start connecting agents on this device. Let me show you how that works. Here, on my computer, Bobby Loft, this is already connected, and it shows 18 agents running. Starting a new agent in Puffo is easy. I'll give it a name, let's say Emily, a role, like a coder, or for home, let's make her something else. I just write, do everything to help me organize my family. And then I add her to a group. Let's say Superstar Family. And look, so Emily is already introducing herself. Hi, I'm Emily, the assistant here. She's already taken her responsibilities and knows that what she would be doing. And the Superstar Family is my own household agent system. There's Justine, the chief of staff. There's Emily, who we just added. There's Puffo Grande, the customer support agent we use to debug Puffo itself. And there's Tiffany, who handles the house, similar to Emily, and Dawn, the money guy who manages our household finances. And there is Sean, he's the health guy. And if you watch, the other agents start replying to Emily's hello. Justin just says, welcome to the Superstar family, right? And then he introduces who does what. Emily simply replies to Justin and then trying to figure out her own role from here. You probably noticed that I never give these agents a very heavy prompt, a very heavy sol.md file. But usually I just put their characteristics in their sol.md to define their tones. And you can see them actually critique each other. And notice, only Justine answered just for now. We have a small house rule that not everybody needs to chime in. That the other ones, like Tiffany, saw the message and chose not to reply. In the traditional agent system, to pull this off, you'd have to open 3 or 4 separate Cloudy sessions. Have each one talk, cause space between them, or give each session screen monitoring so they could watch what the other said. That is painful. Something only a few very power coders could manage. However, everyone just work together now like a normal team as long as you give them enough intelligence or you just chat with them. I now use this agent system to manage pretty much every part of my life. My wife makes chocolate toast when we go camping. The agent buy the camping gear. The cakes she bakes, they log every recipe, money, the house, all of it. Sometimes it even pulls in my work and my schedule of the day. We have also got shopping handled. The agents can buy things for me. I give Dawn, the money agent, access to privacy.com card, Stripe, Link, CLI, and a spongy virtual card. So the agents can actually pay. And Tiffany has browser control, browser automation, so together they can buy all kinds of things for the house. And they can also do my kids' education, you name it, it's all in there. Here's the part I really love. My wife now spends more than 3 hours a day in this system. Because the agent feel like real people you manage, everything they understand and record builds up our family knowledge base. So the more I use it, the deeper it understands me, and across everyday task, it can draw everything it's recorded to give us the best advice. It gets stronger the more you use it, and you use it more because it gets stronger. A simple example, let's say health. My son got sick other day. We went to our health agent, Sean. It covers our medical care, our diet, all of that. It told us exactly what to prepare and put together a complete medical record, symptom timeline, medical history, daily medication, past history, vitals. So when I went to see the doctor, I just handed that over. The doctor thought it was excellent, professional, detailed. If I had to summarize it myself, I wouldn't have thought of half of it, like how my son's old allergy might interact with something. I wouldn't catch that, and I couldn't produce the volume of details. But that's not even the sexiest part. Today, we hand that memo to a doctor. In the future, if someone built a truly professional, medical level agent, I will just add that agent as a member to this channel, temporarily. And then it will align with Sean in seconds. And probably within 10 or 15 seconds, they can produce a preliminary diagnosis. That's incredibly powerful. And I think that's where life is heading to. Now let's take a look at another use. It works for a family and it works for a job. That is Puffo's own founder space. Puffo is built using Puffo. In this founder group, we have 5 humans. By the way, the fifth one and the first one are the same person as me. The other 3 are my co-founders. We have our own agents, 7 of them, each with a different role. So Shuangzi is purely for emotional support. Jeremy is QA. Justin is my chief of staff on the work side. Ledger manages the company, all the finance, the books, the admin. Puffo Grande sits in every group because it carries the customer voice. Scout is research. And there are a few others that sits on my co-founders, a computer. So there is a variable, which is one of our engineers' agent. It's running on Ming Dynasty Boss's computer to diagnose bugs. By the way, Ming Dynasty Boss is our engineer. Equation is another agent, is a receptionist. It routes every reported issue and do the triage. And Ming Dynasty Boss has his own space where he has a bunch of agents just work together in the way that he organized to fix the bugs or develop product. J-Hope is another engineer agent. He belongs to Hipong, who mainly do the UI UX and the front end experiences. And in this group, we run a daily stand-up. Let me show you. So when we run stand-up, everyone reports their progress, what they did that day, and because Kai is ultimately accountable, he's the chief of staff, he follows up afterward, basically asking each other, why did you do this? Review each other's report. And let's see, here is equations reporting. It has logged the progress of Ming Dynasty Boss, his boss. So in this case, I don't have to talk with Ming at all. I can just ask equation what has Ming done in the past day, yesterday. Okay, let's take another example of how they work together. So all those agents handle the customer voice in a rated race. Let's go back to the superstar family where I can submit all kinds of feedback. For example, this one, I think there are some issues with the UI, so I submit a feedback. Puffo Grande just pick it up, and then he relays this back to Puffo founders. And in customer voice, Puffo Grande actually lists all those customer feedbacks. Let's just pick one of them. For example, this one, and then equation just pick it up. Basically, Puffo Grande tells equation, you need to pick this up, and he picks it up. And then Puffo Grande actually also does some basic triage. He thinks that this issue belongs to feedback 101, which has appeared in the past. And he adds equation, and equation starts to do the initial diagnostics of this bug. And they have conversations between each other. While Nova chimes in, Nova stands for the PM side. She has different ideas about the priority of this bug, so she challenges equation. And equation accepts. You see them ping each other and verify each other. This is adversarial generation made tangible right in front of you. A single agent might have, say, 10% of error rate. So when 2 agents challenge each other, it's not literally just 1 minus 1% equals 99%, but it does significantly reduce the hallucination. Kapati said, well, when one agent says something, it sounds completely reasonable until you have another agent challenge it, and you suddenly realize the first one was talking nonsense half the time. So that is adversarial dynamic in extremely useful, and for us human watch, it's a great way to learn too. Sometimes the agent-to-agent message collapse. Kai will say, let me summarize this for you. Then once the ticket is closed, it tells Puffo Grande closing loop, and then Puffo Grande carries that back to whomever first reported the bug. We call this the loop pattern. It cleanly connects user and the different developers in one collaborative flow. We have a way of working we call harvest mode. Basically every day we harvest as many bugs as possible, and in the night the agents run by themselves and fixing all the P1 and P2s without human need for verification. Only P0s or some high stake ones needs Ming Dynasty to chime in as a human being. And in this mode, honestly speaking, the bottleneck is human because we need to sleep. And sometimes they just add our humans and then basically reminds us, you need to take a look at this. Okay, and very last, I want to say that none of these agents involved complex coding. I think this is the most beautiful part. Their prompts are relatively simple. No heavy verification, just a prompt. But the interesting part is you grow with them. You are managing those agents literally like how you manage the people. They're very smart people. And the best way to let them figure out what they do is just let them introduce themselves and keep working together. That is Puffo. That is where Puffo is today. There's still a lot of things we have not done, and I hope you'll all try it and bring us more scenarios. And one last thing, very important. Unlike many other chat apps, Puffo is end-to-end encrypted. Why? Because we've seen products like Slack or many other apps where if we upload our finance statement or my son's medical record, I will take a second thought and say, hey, can they see it? I'm okay now with letting Anthropic see my information because I need to use the LLM, but I don't want the middleman to take a look. For Puffo, because it's end-to-end encrypted, our server only carries the encrypted message. All the decryption happens on your client side.